This is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For March 6, 2026, it's the best sounding and most audio-zoned podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, episode number 133. You guys wouldn't shut up about audio zones today, so it's Audio Zone Day.
I'm going to zone some
Audio Zone Day.
design.
We're doing this. We are doing this in spatial, right?
Oh, yeah. If we're zoning it, it has to
It's
be
all
spatial,
mono.
too.
Shut up. All right. Broadcasting live across 4 time zones and hundreds of your campus quads, loading docks, weird divisible business school lecture halls with bad lighting and bad audio, and at least one classroom still running on control systems that last rebooted during the Obama administration. We're surfing syllabi, we're chasing service tickets, and we're dodging quick questions that somehow become a 90-minute meeting. So from the land of dead batteries, mystery adapters, cursed HDMI handshakes, and professors who insist it worked perfectly in 2019, so why did we change it? We are the last line between higher education and total pedagogical collapse. We are the adapter in the darkness, the firmware in the storm, and the slightly concerned voice saying, well, it shouldn't be doing that. I'm Chris Decker, and you're tuned in for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure. I wrote that today.
Did that all by yourself? That's nice.
That was...
And let's say,
nice.
let's say hello to today's panel. Let's say hello, that word, to today's panel of AV SuperFriends. Our first panelist ensures every interaction with campus support feels intentional, affirming, and supported by at least 4 overlapping ticketing platforms. He's a senior director of holistic user experience and success delivery from Kansas City. Say hello to Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
The secret. The call center secret is you open every phone call with, do you need a hug?
And then put them on hold. Our next panelist oversees the full life cycle of campus service touchpoints from first contact to final closure, or at least to the point where the user gives up replying. He's a director of constituent journey optimization from Corvallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mr. Mark Kolowazinski.
Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. We're all going to get through this together, one way or another.
Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug?
Yes.
Then
Yes,
put
I
him on
do.
hold. Our next panelist brings together people, process, and technology to create a unified service model that is far too strategic to ever answer the phone directly. He's a manager of support alignment and experience innovation from Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Larry Darling.
Because answering the phone isn't efficient. You need to shift left.
Frickin' Amazon shift.
And
left.
give
Yeah.
hugs.
And then put him on hold. And our final panelist provides executive leadership for a seamless support ecosystem where every problem is compassionately acknowledged and then routed into a beautifully optimized maze. He's a vice president for integrated campus resolution services from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
I'm just trying to get rid of 480i.
They don't do support there.
He's the
Not
chief
that
hug
group.
giver.
The other group does support.
The other support.
It's got to be a project.
The other wing.
One
If
of
you
the
need a
support
hug,
teams.
we send Justin.
So in today's show, we're going to discuss how we do our design drawings.
Oh boy.
And we're going to discuss those friendly departments on campus who really want to help by doing their own thing because they're just trying to save us time. And that ends up just being a whole mess. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. If you are listening to this as a recording, please remember we do stream live on Fridays at about 3:15 Eastern, 12:15 Pacific. Today we went right on time. And then I forgot I was muted and it was just silent for like a minute. So that's my fault.
You're a minute.
You can catch us live with that on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and other fine digital establishments. And if you can't join us live, then you can still keep up with us online. You can follow AV SuperFriends on the socials, subscribe to the show, hit the link, so when you know when the new episodes, clips, assorted nonsense all drops for you. Honestly, the easiest thing to do is just head over to the website and start clicking until something good happens. And while you're at it, tell people about the show. Tell your AV people, tell your IT people, your classroom support people. These are all different groups, by the way. Your favorite systems designer, your least favorite project manager, and that one colleague who still says, can't we just use the TV speakers? Help us spread the word to anyone who enjoys higher ed AV, higher ed IT, or hearing professionals slowly lose their minds in public. And finally, if you want to support the show, donations are always appreciated. They help keep the lights on, the streams flowing, and the bad opinions coming in crystal clear quality. Listen to that silence. Dang it, you ruined it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for streaming with us. Thanks for sharing. As always, don't cross the streams, and thank you for your support. And now, you've waited all week for it. It's the news. Justin, sing along. Yeah. All right, and I just closed this tab because I'm a genius. Today's story comes from Commercial Integrator, and it's actually not from today. It's from like 2 weeks ago.
That was pretty good.
And the only
Why is
reason
it relevant today, Chris?
it is still relevant.
Is it?
Okay.
The only reason it's the news this week instead of 2 weeks ago is because we have follow-up news about this. So anyway, the headline from Commercial Integrator is AV Trust launches to strengthen cybersecurity in the commercial AV industry. And right before the show, Jamie was regaling us with the joys of network security challenges on campus, which all came down to a one like slightly
Lousy
dusty
piece of
fiber
dust.
Dirty
connector.
fiber.
Oh no.
Somebody
that
got out
was-
a little cloth and
That's
cleaned that up.
That's where
always
the
layer
blame has been
Oh,
laid.
I'm sorry. Yes,
That's
the
where the
blame is
blame has
on
been
one dusty fiber
If
connector.
the blame's there, then it must be true.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure
you're
that
You're
was
leading me
the
to believe that
only
that
reason.
dust is messing up all your multicasts.
All
No,
of-
Dustin.
It created all of my multicast.
It split it up.
Jeez. Okay.
And so I think the concept here is this is forming as an industry, not a what would you call it, an organization, a
Consortium.
nonprofit, a consortium of sorts to, hey, we need to
Militia.
get better at security, and we all like to buy stuff,
Security militia.
possibly plug it into the network and leave it there for 20 years. So we should probably all stop doing that.
Oh, that's fun. I like doing that.
Only plug it in when you need it.
15
That'll
years.
scale.
Yeah.
Make sure Telnet's on.
Yes.
It always
Hey,
is.
I leave SSH on. It's convenient.
Yeah, it works. And so these guys are they're gonna do it. All right. Who's behind this? This
Well,
whole
yeah,
thing?
let me read the first line here. So AV Trust, a newly established nonprofit organization, is on a mission to enhance cybersecurity in the commercial AV and unified communication industries, which is also one that has major problems and one you would think would be on top of this since the very nature of what they do is on the network. Founded by Doug Schaefer, president, Colin Burney, vice president, treasurer, and Frank Patakala, secretary, AV Trust aims to address the growing need for security in AV systems by focusing on education, research, and the development of security standards.
Well, I
We know
knew-
those guys. I've talked to them before.
I knew Colin. I didn't know Frank was. Breaking news. Frank's involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Broken
As
news.
announced like 2 weeks ago, but yes.
Yeah. It
Yes.
has been involved.
I think it's a
nice.
really cool endeavor by those guys.
Well, it is. It's needed. But
Yeah,
man, they're
yeah,
really
I'll
battling
say.
a.
Well,
They're. It's a losing battle.
It's a David versus Goliath thing because these people aren't the problem. Like,
no, but is it the? I applaud the fact that they're putting together some sort of talking point that our community, the AV community, not higher ed, we're involved in this too, but that says, hey, look, this is a big deal. We need to pay attention to this. This is a consortium of users that says, come on, do better. Instead of
According to
all of
my-
us just sitting here on the air, on the internet streamers saying, do better. They're out there doing it. So
Yeah,
I applaud them.
According to my therapist, awareness. It's a joke. Awareness
get a
is the
hug?
first step.
Awareness
Being
precedes
aware
control.
of
knowing
the
is
issue,
half
knowing
the battle.
issue. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
G.I.
G.I. Joe.
See,
It's same thing.
it's all
That's
coming
my
back
therapist.
around.
Well, in that light, we've all had those conversations with manufacturers, and we're like, hey, like, I need to know, insert whatever network related question here.
Why?
And none of the people that we correspond with on a daily basis have any clue about that. Like, wow, that's a question for Chuck, and he's over in wherever country, and he works remote, and we can't. I'll have to get back to you on that. Like, I think the industry at large is not very well versed in any of this right now.
No, they just
Hold-
want to sell it.
Full stop. Yeah, they're about how many boxes are you going to buy this quarter?
Can you buy
None if you don't figure this out. That's what it's going to
Yeah.
come down to.
And I think it's, Frank's been in the network because he was at Dante there for, or Audinate there for a little while, and Colin's been he's from the consultant side, and his little he's got his business going too that talks about this. So there's some like
AV MSP.
real informed people doing this, and again, not just a bunch of knuckleheads like we are. And so I'm excited. I'm hoping that this takes off. I'm hoping that it's a big splash. I think Justin's right. It doesn't. I don't know if it has a long-term tooth, but if it makes a
I hope
splash
it
this
does,
summer, and there's everybody's talking about it at Infocom, maybe somebody out there in the manufacturer realm will finally say, oh, we should probably address it.
Well, we're talking about it. First step.
I think it's real.
Yeah, but Justin, you're just a knucklehead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're just
I
talking
know. Thanks, Jamie.
it is a
Wrapping
real
me
thing.
in
If
with
you,
that
if you
group.
if you all talk or
Let me put you guys together. You can sit down.
Do you need a hug?
next to Jamie. There.
if you
Turn
have
and hug him.
a
Wait.
CISO on your campus, right? Many of the beliefs of a lot of the CISO class administrators, it's not an if, it's a when that we will see an exploit from an edge endpoint of some level.
Sure. Yeah. No, I
It's
get
not-
it. They're
it's not-
battling
yeah,
this
it-
every
and
day.
It's real, and so they're preparing for this. And the more we see in the peer-to-peer communications and APIs and all this, it is becoming more Wild Westy. It's actually not getting better, and because of that, I think that concept of if the when is more valid today than ever.
Well, and how
it's
many
gonna get worse.
manufacturers? I mean, Mark, I know you've been going through this. How many, not just manufacturers, but how many service providers out there who have some sort of cloud-based monitoring and resolution system? They look at you strange when you say, "What do you mean I can't talk to that thing over the network? Like this device doesn't get past the firewall." They're
I'm
like,
in it
"Well,
right now.
Why
Like,
not?"
Right now, they're like, "Oh, just put your credential in there." And that I'm like, "What? You want me to give you a full-on admin credential to all my endpoints so you can see into those? What happens when you get exploited, Mr. Cloud Provider?" What do you mean?
We're not. We won't. We're
Yeah, it's
running on OpenClaw. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
We got
so
Cloudflare, and they've never had
Yeah.
a problem.
And so
Ever.
when you engage in these really difficult conversations, that's where I'm hopeful for a consortium like this to help engage in more of those conversations and be intentional and say, yeah, well, almost as the mediator, right? So we have end users and we have these manufacturers. Manufacturers just trying to get stuff out and bring it to product fruition so we can buy it, right? And so, well, I still need these things to communicate safely, securely across the wider network. So what does that mean? Well, how many are you going to buy? Well, I don't know. We need some like intermediate conversation that's not about sales. It's really about technical pieces on this, specifically in the security domain. And that's why I'm hoping something like this being stood up brings more validity to us type of knuckleheads.
So, Chris, how can we go about getting more information from these guys?
I don't know. What? Oh, okay. So
Oh, jeez.
Teaser.
I try and tee you up, and I'll just
Trying.
I was going to launch into other stuff.
We've
but-
talked about this for like minutes.
So yes, we have two pieces of information on this, which I think will interest our listeners and viewers right now. So if you want more information about this, you can certainly go to their website, avtrust.org. You can find them on LinkedIn. Just search for AV Trust. There they are. And I'll have links for those in the show notes. Or if you return in 2 weeks from right now, we're going to have Doug, Frank, and Colin on this very show to talk about network security and our AV devices, and they're going to be here. We're going to be hashing it out with them because we are the knuckleheads who don't pay attention to this. I took it out of the... Jamie, you talked about this before the show. I took this thing out of the box. To be honest, I didn't read the manual. I just plugged it into the network. You literally said that.
Ta-da!
That is exactly what you said.
did
it is
say
quite
that.
possible. That's
Different network.
exactly how that works.
Allegedly.
And the good news is you're saying I'm having trouble with said device. It doesn't seem to be responding. But what if it just like plugged in and...
And now there's apparently this dust storm on the horizon taking everything down.
Yeah. For some reason, we've lost 3 buildings on campus unrelated. But
I found your multicast issue.
I'm going to have to. I'm going to step
be right
away
back.
for a moment. I'm going to have to.
so
Have you ever had
anyway,
the network team
yeah.
go, "Hey, your device is broke," and we're like, "No, that's actually how it's supposed to work. It's fair
fair,
network because
About 15 years ago, Jamie and I were sitting in the same room with a DSP that could do VoIP, and we cloned the MAC address of a Cisco phone and just plugged it back into the network, and then the NOC called and said, "What the hell is that?"
What are you doing?
our jobs.
Yeah,
Leave us alone."
You got to be honest. It's in your journey of AV over IP. At some point, you're going to get a multicast storm, and you're going to knock off a couple blades, maybe a couple floors of a building, maybe a building or two. That's
Done
a
it.
badge. You should
Done
wear
it.
that proudly.
And guess
Yeah,
what?
like,
The Dante
2026,
microphone was
no.
working just fine.
no,
Yeah, but I was getting sound.
no,
No, it wasn't getting sound. It was,
there's certain people say, you
There's
know
no
what,
sound
you're going to
coming
learn
through.
how hot it is by putting your hand on the stove. Sometimes you now learn the importance of being very, very intentional around your protocols and where they sit correctly on your
I
network.
just stick my whole head in the oven.
Exactly.
How hot is it?
and even sometimes you can plan it correctly, and you're like, you guys sure about this? And they're
I
like,
think,
yeah.
I think
and I'm like,
multicast is suppressed at the edge. Let's find out.
There's always that
pretty
little
sure I'm
pucker
going to take
scenario
down a
there.
building. Click. And it, like I told y'all. Well, I wonder what happened.
How come the CPU just hit 110%? Get better switches. I don't know what to tell you.
No, we're just testing you, making sure you guys have that implemented
Every time I
correctly
plug
on
in
your
this
network.
mic, the fans on that network switch just go full tilt. I don't get it. Anyway, so
really messing
head
up
over
the noise
to
floor.
head over to avtrust.org, find out what these guys are up to, and like I said, join us here in 2 weeks from today on March 20th. We'll have Doug, Frank,
calendars.
and Colin on to talk about this and what they're doing and what they're finding and all the challenges and good stuff. So.
Or don't look them up and burn down your buildings.
True.
Get your
Always
multicast
an
badge.
option.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure who your network security administrator, your security team, or your CISO are, if you're not sure who those people are, just plug stuff into the network.
Yeah,
You'll find out.
You'll get a Teams meeting request pretty quick.
Yeah. Plug in HD base T
If
first.
the network works still, you may right? You getting too
Oh,
many
yeah, good
Teams
point.
meeting messages? Just plug a bunch of shit in your network. It'll take care of it.
Maybe you
Plug
won't
it-
get a Teams meeting
Yeah,
request.
plug in an HD base T transmitter.
Oh,
It's quicker. That's a
I have
quicker result.
experienced that one. So.
It'll work.
boy.
All righty. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how we like to structure our drawings, how we approach that process, how we kind of design things visually, and all those fun things. So, but first, it is this one, the new one.
New one?
The AV SuperFriends are supported by Computer Comforts, and they've got a brand new product hitting the lineup. Last year, CCI's Evolve Lectern was a big hit, a push-button power table combined with a super flexible AV cabinet. But let's be honest, not every room needs 24 units of rack space. Shocking, I know. And that's where the new AV Hub comes in. It's a lighter, more space-efficient solution for classrooms that still need real AV infrastructure. You get 8 units of rack space, and the whole thing sits only about 10 inches off the wall, which makes it a great fit when you're pairing it with a sit-stand power table instead of building a massive lectern footprint into the room. And this wasn't designed in isolation. The AV Hub was developed in collaboration with Texas State University, so it's built around real higher ed classrooms and real deployment needs. And that means fewer compromises, cleaner installs, and way less, why is this furniture the size of a refrigerator? If you want to see photos, specs, and all the details, head over to computercomforts.com/AV-hub. That's the new AV Hub from Computer Comforts. Purpose-built, space-efficient, and designed for how classrooms actually work. And thanks again to Computer Comforts for supporting the AV SuperFriends. I'm going to re-record that. There's a big pop filter right in the middle of that.
You're
A big
getting
plosive.
excited.
I was excited. Plosive right through my filter. All righty. Well, Justin,
Now-
what are we doing today?
Now what? Are we going to talk drawings?
This is your show.
Oh,
This was your suggestion
how do
for a
we-
show.
I feel like we did
Yeah.
this show before. But all right.
We have not done this show before.
Well, I was asking a
just-
question a while back as I was working on a schematic. Like, where do y'all start on schematics? Do you start on the left side or do you
Middle.
start on the right side?
Dead center and work out.
Do you go in the middle? And I was just thinking about
Parts list.
there's no chance that we all do it the same. And we haven't had this conversation yet. So
We're having it right now.
Okay.
So the way I do it, and I'll go first since it was my idea, I guess.
You pick the
sure.
piece
That
of
seems
gear
fair.
you're trying
Yeah.
to sell for the most amount of money and start there.
Sure.
Yes. The one
But
that's
before
been sitting
that-
on the shelf the longest.
Yeah. Out of warranty. Before that, I usually start either with usually my outputs and then my inputs, then I fill in the middle.
But you do your outputs on
Wait.
the left side like everybody else, right?
No.
Oh,
I start
okay.
on the right,
All right.
kind of read like backwards, if you will, or it depends on the system. So if the system is like, let's say a big sports bar that has just a crap ton of TVs, I'll probably start on the input side because that's a lot of copy and paste on the out. But if it's like I don't know, something else, I don't
Like
know,
a
I can't think of it.
classroom?
That's
Yeah.
just one display. So yeah, I
No,
mean, I'll
that
just
you
throw
don't
that
put
on
in-
there.
Let's
and-
pick a regular classroom maybe as the example we want to build this around.
Well, it's the same. So
Sports
I
bar
start with
classroom.
the most complex thing first.
Oh, you're talking about an active learning room? Is that what this is? Sports
Yeah,
bar
it could be an
classroom?
active
Like
learning.
both
So like
combined.
active learning room, I would probably
That's
start
the best
on
use
the
of an
right.
active learning room.
But a regular classroom, I'd probably start on the left side.
You know what? That's
With
probably
my
like one of
inputs.
those public-private partnersks. I can start having like classes at Buffalo Wild
Sports
Wings and
bars?
call it
I'm just
active
thinking
learning.
that,
Yeah.
when we're done, we just flip that
V-dubs
over, now it's the
class.
We
sports bar.
could.
Exactly. Okay, like you were saying, Justin. Sorry for the
And
interruption.
then I fill in the guts to figure out what I need
The guts.
after.
Wait, you said you have your I's and your O's and everything in between?
So do you already have your parts list before you even start the drawing, or?
No, I'm like really doing shapes. I fill in the parts later. So like I need a 98-inch TV. Don't care what model. I need this. And then I actually use AI to help me create my estimates.
Really?
So I have
Yeah,
a
we
bill
do
of
this-
material from the schematic that is basically blank except for make and model.
Are you leading me to
That's where I
believe that
fill
you
in.
are one-offing every one of your drawings, sir?
That's what
Most
I'm
of the time
hearing.
I am because of what we do on campus. Everything is brand
Everything's
new
one
and
off.
there's no standards and
you are
everybody has their
showing
own money. So
I can save you so much time. It's called
Oh, yeah.
standards.
yeah, I know, right? It'd be nice, but
Would you like for us to explain the tier system to you?
Yes.
yeah. But when I'm designing a brand new building, it kind of works out. Like, oh,
Does
follow
it?
some standards?
So,
Okay,
well,
yeah.
look,
My
trick question.
standards?
Trick question.
Trick
Would you like to step into this trap, sir?
Sure, I guess. I do it every day.
Is
with
your
you
design
assholes.
process CAD?
That's very nice.
Do you
No.
consider the design to be the CAD work?
No.
No. Okay. So when you say
Yeah,
I'm
I
designing a
start on the
room,
Drawing.
I sometimes
just-
do
you-
this on a piece of paper and pencil. I just got to get my head wrapped around it. But it depends on the project. Like right now, I've got this massive CAD deadline here in 30 minutes that I don't know how I'm going to hit. And I have to use CAD, so everything has to be perfect because it's going out to bid and it's part of
Sure.
the construction set and all that shit.
but
right?
but you, for your just the iterative process, like you can't think about it unless you have CAD open.
Or a drawing tool of some sort.
Yeah, is it like must you like when I say design a room? What is that? And what does design a room mean?
What? Why are we talking about that?
What you're saying? Like, I can take a list of bill of materials and kind of say I kind of understand how this goes together,
Yeah.
but that's not a fully baked design. So is a design like the one line CAD document that's created? Is that what we're talking about?
An AV design. Are you asking me the definition of an AV design?
No, I'm
your
asking you
design.
how you design. You're saying because what you've implied is you have to open CAD first and you start blocking things out,
I didn't
regardless
say
if you
that. You
know
said
the
that.
stuff or not.
Well, you
You said
agreed,
that.
and then you said either that or a napkin or something.
Or some piece of paper or some if it's not a basic standard classroom that I've done 1,000 and million times and it's some one-off, which we do a shit ton here, it's just a lot of one-offs. I've got to like write things out and at least do some kind of, oh, we need 5 microphones and we're going to do this and we're going to do this weird thing. All right, let me at least sketch some shit out before I make a bill of material.
Yeah, and I think in that we're different because when I started designing, the company I was working for used a product called DoveNet, which did 0 drawings,
heard
but
of
it
that.
was just a parts list.
Well, how do you
And
know what
Carrier
connects to what?
pigeons. Which,
DoveNet, I don't know where they came up with the name, but it was basically a quoting tool, and you would put the equipment you needed in it,
That's
and then
not
it would come up
designing.
with the bill of materials, and
do you
then
mean?
from
Hold on,
there
pause.
you would do
What do you-
drawings from that.
What do you, so you put the equipment in that you need. What do you mean by that? You're putting in the make and model?
Yes, you
Or I
put-
need a DSP that does these things.
You're creating a
and it
bill of
finds you
materials.
one.
you put the bill of materials, and so that's where my design always started. Was what
Ooh, bill of materials
equipment?
is last.
Well,
Otherwise, I'm
that
changing it
actually that was
consistently.
like the old Star Draw / D Tools way. Like you couldn't put something
did
into a
Star
drawing
Draw.
unless it was in your bill of materials. They
Library.
wouldn't even let you.
You have to have it in your library.
Yeah,
Okay,
Star Draw works on libraries.
sure. I'm talking like back in the Wayback Machine here. This is
Yeah,
vintage,
like-
vintage times.
It's the same model. D-Tools and
Same
X10 still
thing.
do that same thing.
Right. So that's why I'm curious. Like you're saying, I'm starting with a drawing,
Well, yeah.
but are you like making it up? Like maybe one of these will work, maybe one of these will work, and just throwing it in there and just making your boxes and say, yeah, you know what? I'll have this input retro encabulator and
The
I'll kind of shit it out over
the
here.
first initial, which may be the only one, is basically a framework of what I need to go find. I have to go find a 98-inch display. I have to have these microphones. I got to figure out what my DSP is. Oh, I need a 4-channel amp. I don't need a 2-channel amp. And then I'm like, okay, well, there's a concept schematic.
Mhm.
Sometimes it doesn't get past that. Then I create my bill of materials where I'm looking at actual products.
Mhm.
That creates my estimate, scope of work, and
So
then
using it as like a checks and
if
balances
it's
thing.
if it's my internal team and they've done that system before, they don't get a schematic, and that is that
Whoa-
thing that I
whoa-
drew is
whoa.
usually thrown away.
I get thrown a lot of flack for that kind of language around here, sir.
Well,
I don't want you
I've
to
heard
be-
it.
Yeah.
maybe
We're
But
not
it's
pointing
something-
fingers, but it might be towards Kentucky.
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with Kentucky? It's fine.
But that's usually where those comments come from.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
Well-
but, okay. So you've cobbled some stuff together in this massive CAD thing, and you've learned that I'm going to need a couple widgets, maybe a few tchotchkes.
mm-hmm.
And then and now it's bill of materials time. But walk us through.
Now
Give us a logic flow.
specifics.
I'm going to say logic flow, but give me a logical overview. I'm not asking you for the control document. That's not what I'm asking you. Give me paint me a picture in my mind of what your document looks like for this fictitious B-Dubs active learning room.
B-Dubs active learning room. I mean, I don't know. I usually just start on the hardest one first. So, like, how many displays are we looking at? What am I going to do for audio? Where can I put that? How many speakers am I going to need? Dictates amplifier needs. I mean, you just kind of work your way backwards. That's why I'm saying, like, so I start with the outputs, and then I work my way backwards because I can then, especially if I only have 3 or 4 sources in the room, it's like I already know what that is.
I get it. It's not wrong. Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
How much detail do you have in your blocks on said drawing? Is it only the things in which you're using?
Yes, because if I put every connector on there, people get confused.
No. I want a full-on 64 by 64 DM chassis with every card accounted for, sir.
Like, I can't
Put it
read
in there.
this
One
drawing on
page,
this.
8 by
Yeah,
11.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just depends. Like sometimes, like if it's a QIO ML 2x2, I'll put all the connectors on there if I'm only using 2. But if it's a network switch, I might put, 12 connectors if I'm using 8 instead of all
Would you just
24.
trick question for the group? Do you draw out your network switches, or you just put a call out on actual?
I draw my
line block?
PDUs and my network switches. PDUs and power have schematics.
But that's
I like a to port number, and then that's it. I don't actually go through the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I draw it all in
I do my
Interesting.
network switches, but not the PDU.
because I also
Well,
want
but we're
my
not
cables
talking about
labeled
your
because
drawings,
my
we're talking about
cable
yours.
labeling
Yeah.
ends up on my
Wild West
schematic.
Western Kentucky
So if I don't
fun.
have my network drawings in there, how do you know what to label your cables?
well, hold up.
We're not talking about labels.
You said design.
No, I
labels.
get it. I
Generated
get it.
by
I
the
just
software. So what I'm hearing from the other
Yeah.
3, I've been kind of quiet on this one. What I'm hearing from the other 3 guys there is none of you do like full drawing sets. Justin doesn't.
I do sometimes, but not always. Like
Yeah,
right
well-
now, I'm in like some shit right now trying to finish this full building. Then
well, that's
I've
different.
got
Yes.
Right, yeah, I
20
get it.
minutes.
You're doing a building thing because
Oh, yeah.
you're serving a role in that one. I'm talking about for your conference rooms, your classrooms, your meeting rooms, your event spaces.
I mean, if you
you're
don't,
you're gonna be handing that off to somebody.
you should have a standard. Like I have a standard conference room doc set that everybody knows. Like if I say this is going to be a standard conference room, it's like okay, but this is a standard conference room except, well, and we do a lot of
See
excepts
documents.
here because some people can't afford things.
No, that's like I got it. So
It happens.
back to the original question.
I don't know if I'm doing. That's what
You're
my point
you're
is, I
working
don't
you're
know if
working
I'm
output
doing this
in.
really
right, which is fine.
stupid. Like
No, I think you're doing it right. I think everybody has a version of what you're doing. I don't think you're so outside of the norm.
Yeah.
It's efficient for you in your work process. But I think I might be more like Larry, where if it's standard, it's standard. But I'm going to probably start with kind of what we've maybe napkin catted out and have a rough bill of materials, and I'll start putting that together, and then that may bring to light, oh well, maybe I'm going to need X, Y, and Z extra thing, but I didn't start in the drawing. I didn't start there. And so it is more conversational in like bill of materials and budget focused early on. Whether that be right or wrong, that's not the hill we're going to die on today. That's just the reality that we are faced.
And I think I'm there as well. I don't start in the drawing because the drawing takes the longest amount of time, and I'm just trying to turn around budget numbers. And then once we're in agreement that, yeah, we're in this range, I'll go back and I will do a drawing, but that's not where I'm going to start.
My drawing started when I met in the room with the client. In my mind, I started tabulating. Okay, it's probably going to be one of
I do
these. It's
that
going to be
too.
some of that. And so, yet I'm not like putting line down, but I'm carrying that forward in the conversation to understand where it affects the bill of materials.
But I think he's he's doing the same, right?
If I don't write down what I start, if it's a complicated enough system, I start to lose where my thought process was. So I have to create the schematic, even if it might be squares and bubbles,
and
to some degree, so I don't lose track.
I kind of do the same, because I have a mental inventory of most of the things I typically use or what's available to me in the world, and I kind of have an understanding of what the scope's going to be. And to Larry, like you said, a lot of times I know they're not going to buy this. I'm just trying to get an estimate out the door. So that initial bill of materials is just, that's what I put together. Now I might switch some things in and out, but also to Justin is like, once I want to start fine tuning, like once this becomes real, yeah, it's a piece of paper first, and just a bunch of squares and lines and like squiggles that says that's not going to work or whatever. But I don't draw as much as I used to, simply because most of our stuff is, print standard doc set to red line out what you didn't use and let's move on. Unless it's more complicated or it's a little different, or to his project right now, it's a building set that I've got to submit. Then the details really come into work. I guess, tend to do the same thing. I start at the ends and work towards the middles, because I don't want to buy a 64 by 64 matrix, and I only needed, a 4x2.
I feel like
where
if you
I
start
feel
in
like
the middle, you're buying either too much or too little if you're trying to standardize on your system that way. And because this system needed a 7x7 DM switch, so everyone needs it's like,
yeah, unless that's unless that's what I've been given to use. Like if I'm working around, I only have this. That's all I have. I only have a 12-port network switch, whatever it is. So I've got to work from there.
No, I could see that. You're like, if you're using OFE stuff that's already there, you drop that in first and work around it. I get that.
But
but that's rare.
If we take the B-dubs active learning space, know how many
quintessential
student
learning
groups,
room of the future. Yes.
Yeah. You know how many student groups you got. You know what the instructor station is going to look like and what the large display is going to look like. So you can count up your ins and your outs.
The
pretty
large
easily.
display? What?
Yeah. Well,
that's not.
I mean, you don't start all your project with just some chicken scratch drawing, weird
That's
lines
it.
and boxes and stuff.
that's it.
In your notebook, that's literally how it all starts, right? And you're transposing that.
Huh. That's
right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just
real.
have words, not drawings typically when I start, but yeah.
And floor plans and elevations, it's all on my little
I gotta
pad here.
I do elevations and rack elevations last, because if I don't finalize what my overall design is, I found that I go back and change it 75,000 times before I'm done.
That is one question I got, because I will do elevations, but I do not do rack elevations.
I don't do them anymore.
Very minimal. Very minimal.
Yeah, our racks aren't that filled anymore, so there's not that much going in them.
Well, it's just even more reason to do rack elevations, or you end up with people just put everything at the bottom and be like, "We're done."
Yeah,
I want it laid out a certain way. I want 3RU top and bottom of that network switch, because you have to get your hands in there.
I suppose that it depends on who's doing the work.
Yeah, if it's my guys, we know how they know how we do things.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid to go in there and say, "No, move all that shit."
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you should have known better. But if it's, I guess if I had an integrator doing it, I would probably spell it out a little bit more.
I want to say, I know your audience. I want to do that, though. I will bet right now I'm the worst at this entire group for documentation. No doubt in my mind.
I think we all know.
I think we all know that.
Yeah, and so
I think we all agree.
You hate documentation so much that you write articles about how much you hate documentation.
But know, I really had an internal argument of whether or not it was me.
No, I think there's always room for improvement, right? And I have a lot of ground to keep, but it's a balance. And when I say know your audience, it's the efficiency. What must you over document versus what can you get away with, and balancing the total workload. And I think if Chris, Justin, if you're holding this thing and you're going to design, and your expectations, you're going to farm this thing out, then yes, the devil is in the details.
Yes,
absolutely.
I will put the time in.
So
that's what this is.
I have found myself getting much worse at this whole process the more on the network I do. Because what I'm finding is I have PC, encoder, network. Laptop encoder network.
So you need a cloud in the middle that says, my friendly neighborhood network administrator makes this work.
And it's all on the enterprise. So I don't really control what the cable labels are. I don't control where it gets plugged in on the network switches. I don't have any of that because
you don't have a standard like printout, like these are the ports that a standard classroom has. This is the labels that go on the cables, and this is where they go on the switch.
But not necessarily once it hits the floor
'cause
jack.
you guys go.
I'm on the enterprise. It goes down the hall, right?
Okay.
I'm on the enterprise switches. So we, link runner the network ports, and it says, hey, I'm on 7, 12, 15, 22, and 48.
You must have just gobs of jacks in your classrooms. Just like
Jesus, dude.
I have what I need.
How many would that be exactly?
that's a
Well, it
lot.
depends on the room. If it's in B dubs, I probably have 24
Got a nice
to
144 panel there with a
24 to
brush
30?
pass through and everything.
Well, yeah. How many things we got here going on in B dubs? I mean,
Too many.
if you have a couple of encoders and then you have your PC that has to connect to the network, right? And then each of your decoders, in this case, it's a good B dub, so we have 27 televisions
Are others
around the
going
room.
back to a switch in your instructor station?
No,
or
no, it
those
goes down the
going
hall.
back
They're
to
going back to the
MDF or
switch.
IDF.
the switch.
Yes,
There,
because with me
Wow.
putting it all on the enterprise, and I have
Isn't this what they wanted
industrial
you to do,
switches.
Larry? This like a couple
It
years ago,
is,
there was threats
but-
of you having to do this.
We have old buildings made out of asbestos. Or not
Yeah.
really. I looked and
Asbestos
they're
and
not as
Elmer's
hot as
glue.
I thought they were. But
It's expensive to run cable.
it is really expensive to if your standard is 3 jacks per room. If I were to ask for 30,
What kind of luxury is that?
Now this is
I
an
get
AV
2,
over IP
one of which
system.
got stolen for a WAP somewhere.
Yeah, AV over IP system in B Dub's active learning classroom. If it's a regular classroom, Larry, there is a small 8-port switch, but there's no AV over IP. There is an HD base to the projector, but I still have 3 at the desk and 2 at the projector. Network jacks.
2 at the projector.
2 at
What
the
the hell are you
projector.
doing at the projector?
Well, yeah,
talking to each other.
That's for any camera or projector network control, and or sometimes they steal a WAP, or it's for all kinds
I've
of
started
stuff.
over specifying because I know someone's going to go steal one of those in 6 months.
Yeah, and that's even in the old spaces. Just as we go through there, we go ahead.
That's
and
it's
pull
in our
them.
Division 27 that way. Yes,
But-
there's 2 drops at every display location.
My
It's not even
documentation
part of our network.
on these AV over IP systems has gotten it's really stupid because they get these sets and it's network to decoder to TV.
Encoder magic, and on the other
Yes.
side, decoder display.
I do put on on the LAN port. It may go to the ubiquitous cloud, but it does say AV VLAN or
There's a
enterprise
call out for it at
DHCP
some
or
Who
static
determines-
address, and I'll put the address on there. If it's a static address, the address goes on there, and
North
there's a
Pole.
label kit. But my
bet
drawings
you-
are really stupid easy now because it's just a series of 3 boxes all over the thing, and they're like, "What have we done?"
I bet you dollars to donuts that your network team has a standard layout of what these AV VLAN ports land on, because if they don't know,
I
then they're going
bet
to lose track.
not.
That's
I'm
that's
pretty dang sure.
are you sure? Dude, that's I
No.
wouldn't say that on a recording. That's pretty like how
Look-
are you not keeping track of where your AVV lands physically in each MDF or IDF as a network team? Like that's
The software layer.
That's
That's part of where I
that's
want to actually get
one-on-one
into
shit,
this.
guys.
They
Yeah.
go, let me log into that switch. Oh, you're on port 176234.
It is logged nightly by an
Yeah.
automated
Dude,
backup
if
where
you-
it comes down that way. But I don't think it's I don't know if it lands on a drawing set.
No, it never does because
doesn't need. I mean, you
they're
can
all
have
patch
one-
paneled to the switches, and if they replace a switch, it may get patch paneled to a different port on the switch. We just need to know what the devices are, and by then it's MAC addressed. And
Yeah, but usually you have like this bank of 12 is the AVV LAN. Whether you use and then they can move around on that, but I mean
No,
at least it's the same ports on every switch that
nope.
is
That's
part
very
of that
that's
VLAN.
very like
If I get to that
Cordoned
level,
off
I'll
perspective of it,
actually
though.
have them spin me up an entire 48 port switch just for me.
well.
And then we'll patch into that separately, but it's in the same stack as all the enterprise ones that they just manage. But no, we just put on our link discovery and tell them what it is, and we get the MAC address exempt, and it goes to the IP address. And very rarely do we ever have any issues. You move it to another port, does what it's supposed to do.
Until it doesn't.
Just a lot of
Until it doesn't, until the glass gets dirty and
Man,
breaks
Someone
up.
got some dust on that fiber.
It breaks up the network traffic into Dante. I have discovered Audinate's secret. You just put dust on the glass. Done.
So I have two questions in my mind. I'm curious about. One is around this amazing active learning B-dubs classroom event space that we're working on.
I don't know if
And
it's
that-
amazing.
That do you do typical of
Yes.
each
Yes.
of the booths that are going to be in said B-dubs
Yes.
active learning
Every
event space?
time.
Typical
Or
of 32.
are you
Yes.
doing the 42 individual
Oh, no.
booths? No. Okay.
Only if it deviates for some reason.
I
or
want to
another.
hear from Justin though. Justin, would you have typical of, or are you doing 42 to 60 of individual chicken wing eating booth collaboration active learning spaces?
Ooh, chicken wing.
I don't understand that question. Like,
If you
what
have
are you
12,
asking?
if you have 12 tables, do you draw each table out, or do you
How
file
many
one
ones
on the
table out and
schematic?
say,
Oh,
yes,
no, yeah. So I just went through esports. Here's one desk.
Okay.
Do that 10
There it
times.
is.
It's
Got it.
X10, right? And then
Sure.
you
Just making
and
sure.
then I have to section off the middle ports to make sure I don't draw into them.
yes.
Because if I start drawing and then I'll just lose track, like, oh, I really need 6 network switches instead of 3, right?
I'm
Six
keeping
So
you
you gotta-
honest there.
switches.
You got to
What is
keep
happening?
track of how many cables you use for your ports. Otherwise,
I
you're
just
gonna lose
wire
track
nut
of
them
your
together. It
equipment.
works.
Wired nut these network.
So our
cables
esports
together.
needs
It'll
4
work itself
switches
out.
to
Yeah.
work. Just
And
found that
what
out.
about like the non-tangible pieces of this? What are you doing to document that? I'm really this is a question I've even thrown out to this group in the past.
Like what?
Like
Dante routes?
Oh,
it's a table.
yeah, the
associated
DSP
it's
DSP
a
configs,
addendum.
like all that the weird stuff you got to get in the box with an IP to do, but it still has technical signal flow to it. Like, what are you doing to document that, Andron?
Oh, I don't.
I use Jamie's
have
method of
ancillary
like, so
documents,
Jamie has
cable
his
schedules.
magic. Jamie has his magic internet like Gazina Gazauda drawings, and that's how we do DSPs. There's a DSP, and stuff comes out of the DSP. So
That's yes.
because to your point, Mark, I mean that is a pretty standard config that gets loaded on there, and the few slight tweaks are made, and then the room is balanced, and everybody goes about their merry business. But
Until it goes out to third party and they have to do something, and you end
There.
up
Well,
getting
so
this,
here's
and
my
you're like,
question:
what
why
the
are you letting a
fuck is
third
this?
party, even if they're
not.
installing, why are you letting a third party do your software?
Yeah,
Why
you
not?
don't.
You don't. But I'm just saying we've all seen it. That
And
like
I know it happens.
yeah, it
I've had
happens.
buildings,
But it's amazing when you're like, how did they even come to that conclusion that we would have done that? Like, why? How did they put all the output blocks on the left side of the screen and then run the shit around virtually? Like, why would that ever have been the case? And yet it happens.
Yeah, that's where when you inherit, a building or a space or something like that, and you go in, the first thing you do is just wipe it and just start from scratch and load your config. But
I'm just saying, is there any magical mystery?
no, and I think
Clue out
that's an
there.
area where I personally would like to better document our typical and standard spaces. Is okay, stuff DSP, and here's how we do our DSP, so that is available, and we have that documented and detailed, so because those
it
files
once.
exist. We can
Somebody
we can
out there
export
is
them
screaming,
wherever.
you should be putting everything in your GitHub repository. I
Well,
No.
get it.
in all,
I
this is
connect all my
going to
DSPs
become
to the cloud, and I let the cloud pull that down.
well. This is going to become a bigger and bigger issue. Because we've just addressed it. Like, it is a big cloud in the middle of your drawing. What does that? What does your Dante flowchart look like? What does your
A big giant
DSP
Excel
look
doc.
like? And even when we get proposals from integrators for folks that don't typically do their own, do they screenshot that and give it to you? Do you get to see that before they implement it? Like we do touch panels. I mean, we fight for. I want to see the touch panel.
That's I was about
Right?
to say. Just
But-
use AI for all that to
Do
compile it
we?
all. That's what I'm doing.
Well,
I made a
in the
cable schedule in 3 seconds the other day. It's just
It,
phenomenal.
Was it
wasn't
correct?
Copilot,
I don't
I'll
know.
tell you that.
It was right, and I was like,
I
"This
logged in.
is." I loaded in a schematic of my drawing set and said, "Made a cable schedule." I had the labels
Yeah, it'll
and
do
we
it.
tabled that shit. Oh, dude, it was beautiful.
Claude for Excel is sweet.
Oh, it's great. It's
all right, nerds.
oh my God.
back on
Sorry,
task.
yeah, so much.
All right,
We don't have time
nerds,
for that.
back
We
on
don't have time.
task.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
But we've all
Saves so
been there
much
in the
time.
past where you have it your clients. Like, I want to know what the touch panel looks like. How does it flow? What's the page flips look like? All this crap. But nobody ever says, I want to know exactly what the inside of that DSP is going to look like. And we've all inherited that one where it literally is 8 in, matrix mixer, 4 out, done.
Or they'll do all the custom blocks and it's all wrapped in layers of shit. It's like, dude, don't do that. Like,
I like to take multiple AEC references
lying,
at different
Cam.
places along the signal flow. I like to make sure that we can use any one of those as a reference.
I just like to flag them and they don't go anywhere.
But then you can click the button and it highlights it, and it highlights and it's all weird, like stripey, because it doesn't connect.
With us moving towards software-defined systems and such, how it
I push.
I don't know this
the auto
answer.
AI button and let the DSP do its thing.
like does AVIXA, are they putting together a
Good luck
standard
getting
set
any
for this kind of
schematic
thing?
from that.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
The soft goods documentation. What's going on?
Yeah,
there? That's what we wanna
is
know.
there soft goods documentation? Is there cloud-based
Well, and to
documentation?
that point,
Right.
I mean, even if we go to a simpler device, let's say we're setting up a projector or a display, there's certain settings you want
configurations there, too.
enabled or disabled in there. And we may have a Word doc somewhere, a shared Google sheet that we've got some notes on, but that's not part of the set, and probably it should be.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just line of thing, go to this box, and you're like, well, I
you
can
cut-
do that and make that literally not work. I can turn on all the processing. I can turn on the weird color modes. And it'll look terrible at the wrong aspect ratio. It's all stretched and distorted and whatnot. And that's all things that we don't document because
Chris,
we
you
just go
speak a
do
lot
it.
about. Do you do an EDID table?
Do I do an EDID? No, I do not do an EDID table.
He
don't
does.
have to if you stick with
720p
1080.
done.
720p mono.
720.
That's my
Yeah.
EDID table. Do it or
That's the
else.
standard. That's documented somewhere. It's an
Somewhere.
SOP. Yeah.
It just that's the page one in every document. Just so set
Yeah.
the stage. Everything's
All right.
drawn in mono.
So
No,
Justin,
I don't do an EDID table, but it's I also kind of wrangle that directly myself. But and maybe that's something there should be a note somewhere that says all displays to be set at, all sources to be set at. And for those of you out there who are big on NVX systems, enable DHCP, you cheaters. So
You need it. So
what software are you using
for DHCP
to draw? We know to draw.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like,
Like-
wait, what?
Yeah, switch topics. Squirrel. Justin, we know he uses AutoCAD.
I use a combination of, well, yeah, it is all AutoCAD.
It is all like you can't claim
you
anything
just
else.
gave up. You're like,
Well, I was going to say Bluebeam, but that's because I have to deal with architects and some of
That's
them.
marking
yes.
up.
That-
Yeah.
That's market.
But,
market
but I
construction drawings.
export CAD from that, and then so it's eventually all
It's all AutoCAD.
DWGs. Yeah. Or Revit. I got to deal with that shit too. That's not fun.
Okay.
Chris,
X10.
For all of it?
I do everything in X10. Well, no, I take it back. I don't do my construction drawings. I do those in Bluebeam because X10's straight up drawing tools are not great, but
No.
schematics, elevations, rack elevations, all that stuff, it's all in X10. And then
X10?
I've got a single database. I got all that stuff in there. Pull from it. It's great. Highly recommended. Cable schedules, all that fun stuff. It's all in there.
Larry.
D tools tied to Visio and then Bluebeam for construction drawings.
Same workflow as me. Then yeah.
That's the same thing. I'm actually going back to Visio for everything.
So how do you do elevations? What do you do elevations in?
Visio, you can do it.
You draw a box that's the wall. Then you draw another box.
So how do you
That's the
download
TV?
chief mounts in Visio and like all these other boxes and widgets? Because I go to the manufacturers, I download all their DWGs. They don't have Visio files, and then I pop those into my perfectly scaled CAD drawing, and everything's exactly where I show the studs in the freaking walls, and that's where the
I don't
mount
do
goes.
What are the
I do
names?
not.
And guess what? I have
George.
zero problems
Steve,
with people putting shit in the wrong
Hot
spot.
Larry.
Use this drawing. Oh yeah.
As long as you're not using the Sony TVs where the Visa mounts on the bottom.
Oh, so I was looking at
No,
one of those
you
the other day.
accommodate for that.
Not from a Sony, but from somebody else because I had to make sure
Yeah.
there's a chair rail on
get
the
you.
wall, and that became a whole thing.
That'll
And I was like, oh yeah, we need the box at this height. And went, wait, and I looked at it, and it's all at the bottom. I was like,
You sons of.
Mhm.
Yeah. Most of my drawings is in AutoCAD. I'm not very good at it, but it's there. And then Bluebeam is what I'll use when I have to mark up or annotate over the architect's ones for RCPs and stuff because I'm too lazy to export and re-import.
I'll be honest. I do more elevations than I do anything else. Schematics. Every time we put a TV up, on campus, I do an elevation for it.
What?
The exact TV mount, the exact placement of the rough ends, because I've got so many
Now,
of them done. It's a
but
copy and
why?
paste.
I'm going to be on Mark's side
Yeah.
on this one and be on like, that's
I do.
over documenting.
I print.
Wait, let me move
I'd
over
get
here
my
then.
templates out. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, but
this
you
one
you
fits,
guys are
let me
like
adjust this.
constantly chasing legal
Audit.
fear on your campus.
Yeah,
I feel like you're
true.
always like,
So-
I need to have this so
We
I
need
can
this.
throw this
This is
motherfucker
what
under
we
the
need.
bus.
Well, the contractors and the electricians and the drywall people and the project managers can all look at my single drawing and do it one way. If I don't have a drawing, there's always one thing that gets screwed
Now,
up.
Justin, to that end, I have worked with our electrical and our carpenters. We have a standard, like, this is how you do TV mounts and stuff on.
I don't have that because it could be any contractor. We don't have facilities doing that work. It could be
okay.
any outside contractor. It could be an electrician mounting the mount or a drywall guy mounting the mount, depending on,
Why are they mounting them out?
because they have to put it in the wall, Larry, and build it into the studs because it's a recessed mount.
I think
it's
it's
got a
asking why
back
the
box.
drywall
Got
guy's
it.
doing that.
So like the Chief FPI WS, for example,
Okay.
you put that in there, tell it the elevation, send it on, and no one screws it up.
That's really fancy. We just
Done.
Really
drill it
fancy.
to the
And
front.
I've created all these templates, so it takes me 30 seconds to a minute to plot one out. And it sometimes takes 5 minutes if I have to make one adjustment because of something on site.
rough estimate amount of time you're spending in CAD per week, Justin.
49 hours.
This is not much, actually. Because
I
the
don't
more
know if
time
I
I,
believe
I call
that.
foul,
the
sir.
more time
You're-
that goes
you-
on,
You
the
have
less
CAD
time-
open on your laptop
CAD
every
launches
moment
at
we're
boot
That's
on
speaking.
your
today.
system.
Yeah.
That's
I've
today.
never talked to you when you weren't working on CAD.
Yeah, you have.
I'm not throwing you in the bus, but I get the sense
you
that
have.
you I feel like you do more documenting than just the AV pieces. I think
I
you're
have way less headaches for contractors. Like conduit goes here, power outlet goes here. Do the
You're not
conduit
wrong.
size this way. Don't forget the data conduit too, so they don't steal ours. And put all this shit together because I know, Mark, that's a problem that you have. People stealing conduits. Well, if you do a drawing set, that's
still here.
It was on the
There it is.
drawing. Like when Mark's conduit was stolen, it was on the
Yes,
drawing.
but if it's on an agreed upon drawing set, then it's a contractual
Thank
issue.
you, Chris.
And you can go back
Yeah.
and you can get
That's what I'm saying. I think you guys are
You get
you're
rectified.
Rectification?
the impulse to over document seems to come from the fear of litigation.
No, I just hate people screwing shit up, and
There we
it pisses
are.
me off.
And
There
that
it
I
is.
have to
becomes
go
a
back and
litigation
deal with
then,
it.
yeah.
So it actually saves me time to document stuff. And the more time that goes on, again, the more libraries I build, the less time I'm actually
Sure.
spending in CAD. Because I could just copy and paste like a freaking consultant. You know,
Shots fired.
that's right. By God.
You aspire to be the one you hate.
Well, I thought
I
it was
love
pretty ironic that you were going from a 2-channel amp to a 4-channel amp earlier. After
Yeah,
our
we know the
discussions.
truth of this.
yeah.
How do you know until you do audio coverage uniformity standards in this space?
We don't have
Mono,
time.
sir.
We don't have time.
Well, it's all mono to the user. It's just how many?
Is it?
How much mono?
The user
How many
has
watts do I
one
have to
ear?
break
How many- how many channels of mono do you want?
one channel of mono from multiple channels. You guys are distracting me. I gotta get this shit done.
This CAD work
Because you're
done.
working on CAD. in the
Exactly.
middle.
Okay.
I'm actually
So,
trying to
Justin,
find
did we even answer any of your original desire
I?
to embark in this journey of
Like,
lack
how
of
do we go about
documentation?
this?
Yeah.
Did we answer this for you?
I think
Was there any other
you
questions you want us
answered
to-
the fact that
You're
everybody
doing
does it
fine,
a little bit
sir.
different.
Yeah.
I thought I was just making sure I wasn't an outlier
You are.
and like, you know,
But
The
for
only
others,
way
it's
you're
different. Yeah.
the only way you're an outlier is that you
Outlier.
overplan more than any 3/5
actually
of us.
underplan.
I'll say I wish I would get there, but I would take it like a ton of time to do it.
Jeez, I would never get there.
Like all I'm trying to do is find a stupid DWG for a 2-gain Dante plate.
Oh, I have that. Hold on.
Can you just send it to me? And I'll
Yeah.
be done with this shit. Like
Just one from
I'm not
Symmetric is
actually
great.
doing CAD right now. It's just finding the thing so I can load it in. So
You
they-
wouldn't want it from me anyway because I probably created it as a box in a box that went on.
box,
That's
box
not
in a
to
box.
scale. He
It
loads
looks like
it's picks
Visio,
up the
but I
doorway
used
size.
AutoCAD.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Like
I know what I'm gonna do.
$1,200 a
I'm gonna
year to
cheat.
draw Visio boxes.
I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna bring in the picture to CAD. I'm done with this shit.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm done.
Just
I gotta
Justin, use that place command. Just drop it right in there.
gotta
So that's the other thing I add on my drawing set is 720p mono on every page, and then right below that, not to scale.
Chris just select
all different stuff.
He selects all layers and just plants it. There, it's on every layer. HVAC, that don't go there.
Oh my God, dude, what is going on?
All right, well, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some of the friendly folks we work with on campus who they try to help us out. You know, we don't want to bother you. We're just going to go buy this stuff, and we're just going to go set all this stuff up. And hey, we're having trouble with our conference. Can you come by and take a look at this? And
you're talking about clients,
or departments, or other groups, or all sorts of folks who generally try to help, but in doing so,
there on the other
just
side of
make it a mess. So. Oh, and we have our teaser here for those of you who didn't hear our last episode. Here's what you missed.
If you missed the last episode of AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, we tackled 3 simple topics: AI governance, storytelling, and furniture development. In the news segment, we calmly wondered whether your collaboration platform might be auto-transcribing confidential meetings and sharing them with, well, everyone. Nothing screams progress like accidental transparency. Then we discussed storytelling, because apparently knowing signal flow isn't enough. Now you need a narrative arc and emotional pacing to justify your technology budget. And finally, we talked about furniture development, where we learned that tables have strategy, chairs require stakeholder alignment, and your classroom refresh is basically ergonomic foreign policy. So if you missed Off the Rails episode 132, you only missed AI anxiety, leadership philosophy, and a heated debate about chairs. Go listen. We'll wait.
See, that's what you missed.
So snarky.
Not that snarky. Could be.
It wasn't as snarky as I expected.
I had to dial it way back.
Snark.
I think SnarkBot needs to get back to where it was.
All right, if you want the really
sounded like a
snarky
librarian reading that, like very
librarianish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've all got this call, this request, this support doc, this email, this whatever that hey, we didn't want to bother you with this, so we didn't tell you about it. We hung up a bunch of displays for signage, or hey, how do you get the things to update at the right time? Or hey, we can't hear people in this room where we went and bought our own microphone speaker's phone thing we put on the desk and no one can hear us. Or so how do we deal with those requests? You know, even our facilities team sometimes we're like, oh no, we do enough of this. We know how you do it, so we put the but we can't get it to work. Can you come by and look at it? So
Yeah,
what's our follow up with that?
We don't really support that. That we don't really. That's usually what
is that a viable answer? Just from around really quickly, can
Not
you
by
say we don't
itself.
support that?
Not by itself. It was just
And
more of
it'd
a
be
joke.
okay, and you can just say thank you, sorry, walking away.
Can't walk away from it.
I
You
think
got to
it
provide a
depends.
solution.
Yeah, it depends.
No, there are
Like-
times where that is the answer. Yes.
It's part of the
Absolutely.
answer. It's not the only answer. It's part of the whole narrative.
I
no,
do get
sometimes that's the answer. Well, how come my Fire TV stick doesn't work?
Right.
I logged it in. No, just no.
What if they had a drawing that said Fire TV, arrow, cloud? Just
I
Like,
didn't
well, that
think
should
about that.
work. Like that.
And
I
it's
don't know
labeled
why that's
correctly.
not
yeah,
working.
and it's got the right label on it. So yeah.
I just tell them we're not a client of AWS anymore, so they can't use it.
So this topic, which we will not get through in the next 56 seconds, wherever we're going live. I often see this come in as, oh, we thought we were saving you guys time, so we went ahead and just bought these things, as if the purchasing element was the thing that was going to somehow take the longest to do, and they're doing us great service by just going on Amazon and just buying a bunch of things. Like, thank you so much. You saved me minutes of PO creation time. And they're victoriously shopping because oftentimes it's an office administrator who doesn't have much comfort in enterprise costs. And numbers are always wacky. And so that's where this always seems to stem from. We don't have a lot of colleges going out there going rogue, doing whole classroom installations and weird stuff, but it's usually these one-offs that are like the little collaboration room and this thing, and we bought this, and we got the
It's meeting rooms and conference rooms. I
yeah.
see that a
That's
lot,
that's
but
typically where it is. It's we
I do get it in lab spaces and stuff. Oh, we just
Sure.
wanted a projector, so I went and bought this one,
Yeah.
and it's like, but it's out of it's hard to see, and it's like,
So now here's one of the answers that we can also provide. It's your space. If it's the department space, you are free to do whatever you want. Just don't call me.
Welcome to my campus.
yeah, it's the
Right,
carrot
and
stick
Welcome
model.
to my entire campus.
And I'm dealing with it right now. An atypical request that's like, we want to do all these things and this and that. It's like, you're asking me for non-standard things. The answer is, I will buy it for you, and you're more than welcome to put it up however you want. But no, I'm not going to wrap the extension cord around the fire extinguisher and use a drywall screw to hold it into the
Wait, so
concrete.
you'll still purchase it? Because then you still
I won't purchase it.
at
no.
a certain point you're going to own that.
Well,
So-
I don't
I'll ask them
because
like,
if you-
here's
I
your
agree with
list. You can
Chris.
purchase it. I can just send you a cart that you can just check out and you're on your own. Like there's nothing. Okay.
I don't know.
I think it's. I
then
think
it's
it's
going to
true.
be when that person leaves. It's going to be, well, that Mark guy. He's the one who told us to buy this.
But they're going to do it either way, right? And fundamentally, they're only calling because they want to be able to continue to call. Let's be real. That's the only reason. And they're somebody above them said, well, did you talk to so and so over at blah 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 technologies? And they're like, fuck. I'll outsmart them. Hey, I'm going to do this whole thing, and then you just call them out. Be like, listen, you're only calling me and pretty much asking me what's the bare minimum you can spend and still call me. That's really what the basis of this conversation comes down to.
Yeah.
And so you be honest, like, well, here's the way it really needs to be treated. This is how you have accessible and, the way you're going to meet standards, and it's going to call this. It's going to cost this amount of money. That's what it is, right? You be transparent up front. Whatever they're going to choose to do, they're going to choose to do.
I think it's funny that you started that by they're, thinking they're going to save you time. Because of this happening on my campus, I now have access to any purchase order that has anything to do with AV. Like it can be a camera lens. They see the word camera, I get flagged, and now I have to go look at that purchase order and figure out
That's
who
kinda
is
how
it,
we deal with
Same.
can they
them.
purchase it.
Do you just add stuff in there?
I can add comments and say,
Oh.
I can stop
You
the
can't
order
add, like,
or
a
I can
barcode
add
launcher?
comments.
But Larry,
That's
you
it.
know what it doesn't work for? Credit cards. That's our problem.
I've got burnt with that recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have as because we're set up the same way as Larry now, that almost every one of those requests gets piped through me unless it's a credit card thing, and then that's when you go, well, good luck with that. I find it's not necessarily the department's trying to do me a favor, it's my fellow IT friends.
They're guilty of it too.
Where, well, the computer's not connecting to the network. Oh, I'll just well, I rebooted, it didn't work. I'll just change the network's port. I'll unplug the switch that was in there in order to plug in
I
my
thought you didn't
computer
have this problem,
to the switch
Jamie.
uplink.
Didn't we just have this conversation about commercial
Well,
ago
it's-
where you didn't have network issues and your layer 1 was solid
was-
as shit?
Well, yeah, but this again is my brethren. This is my IT brethren
Yeah.
helping me out, or the ones that they always pick the one box they don't understand. Typically, an audio DSP. The projector wasn't working, and this thing doesn't have buttons, so I went ahead and rebooted that. But the projector still doesn't
So,
work.
whoa. So if it had buttons, tell me what you were going
Well,
to
exactly.
do.
And
And
again,
just start
it's
pressing stuff.
if they have access to the back panel, which means they have a key to the desk, that means they're an IT personnel, but they just don't
That's
understand
a story for another day.
that they're
Yeah,
not
like,
helping.
why-
Access and like keys. Oh boy.
Only
Well-
to my team.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna
But-
make a note of that one because
Yeah,
there's a whole thing around
security.
that.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those cases where, like, in our admin center, we only have really like computer desktop support folks, but the chancellor needs to have this thing done, so they have keys to our cabinet in order to they can call us and just, I'm in there, help me, and we can try to help them. But sometimes they try to help me, and it's like, dude, like you did the worst possible thing to fix this. So that's where my thing really comes in, and sometimes it is an education thing. Like, please don't ever do that again. Or the ones that will, the computer doesn't work to reboot it, they'll flip the switch on the power sequencer.
They love that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some folks in engineering who are like, it's not working. Pow. We're like, well, now everything's off, and you get to wait about 8 minutes for that to come back. So enjoy.
Good luck.
8 minutes.
For everything, yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
Well, we have all those DMPS 300s. I mean, they're at least 15 on their own.
Well,
Exactly.
even before that, some of the low power network switches that are powering the, PoE powering the touch panels and that stuff won't come back up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it takes forever.
I had one guy say, why does your stuff take 15 minutes to start every time I use it?
It's like,
I don't
how
know.
do
I
you
didn't
know?
make it.
I
just
asked
put
him,
the shit in.
I asked, he was explaining, like,
It's like,
it takes so long and they lose so much time. He's like, we only have 50 minutes for class. I lose the first 10 or 15 for. I was like, wait. Are you rockering this thing every time you come in? Because at some point in years past, someone showed him this will fix it, but you're going to lose everything for like 10 minutes. And in his mind, that clicked at like, this guarantees it works, which is true. It guarantees it works every time because he walks in and just, I'm like, well, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was a fun conversation. It took about 3 minutes to back and forth to kind of get around what he was asking, and then realized, oh, no, let me help you. So it's interesting. Anyway, aside, the only other scenario I wanted to bring up real quick is the folks who initially ask you for a system, a design, a conference room, a cart, a microphone, whatever, and to Mark's point, they don't like the price. Then they go buy their own thing, and then when it gets here, they say, hey, you remember that thing we were talking about last month? It's here now. Can you come make it work?
Yeah. Or they had specific ad alternates. Like, no, that's not how that works.
Wait, this wasn't just a menu I could just pick off of randomly? Like I just wanted I picked the 3 cheapest pieces. You tell me it's not going to work?
I don't know what this HDMI matrix is, but it was expensive, so I just went ahead and nixed it.
Yeah, I did have somebody mention that yesterday. Like, oh no, we'll just give this thing to the person who's responsible, the project champion, whatever you want to call it, and they'll just redline the items they don't want. I'm like, that's not how this works.
I think it's a rider. No, we're not going to provide
Nope, and no.
none
So I just need that. Like,
Yeah.
great. No, so I had that experience with they asked for stuff and then they opted to do their own thing, and then they asked for us to come install it. And a few months later, I wandered by this because I was like, no, we're not. Look, we gave you a thing. We went through this whole process. You did, and then you decided to do your own thing. You were on your own. And I poked my head in there a few months later, and it was like just cables across the floor and stuff duct taped down, and there's things hanging from a TV, and it was like. So we have a handful of rooms on campus that you guys are very much on your own. So enjoy. And at some point in the distant future, we will have a meeting about that space, and we will fix the space and make it work much better. But
In the meantime, he just goes and tapes magnets to all the...
Oh, yeah.
put magnets.
He pulls up the tape, cuts the cable, then puts the tape back down.
Who's doing that?
You guys know all my tricks.
Chris.
Why would I want to create more support requests for a space that we're not even dealing with?
Because you're not
Spite.
dealing with it.
In all
No,
of these years, we know that you do things for spite every now and then.
I design and build systems out of spite, but I do it the other way. I build better stuff than other people have that makes them jealous, and now they have to go build like better stuff.
Oh, peer
'Cause-
pressure.
Yes,
You're like a
pretty much.
drug lord.
So in general, I think this is probably universal for all 5 of us here. Generally speaking, the college on our university campuses or college who has the best facilities, the best stuff, the best gear, the best spaces, College of Business, right? Is that
No, not here.
well,
No,
with the
stop.
exception apparently of Justin having
They do have a lot of really good stuff.
They do.
not
It's not the best system, but they have a lot of stuff.
They got a lot
Justin,
of crap.
but this is a brand new, nice new building that, in theory, once you're done with it, will have really nice stuff, right?
We haven't even started.
I know. This is a 3-year long process. So recently, I did a big project where I updated the building that is only general pool, and I made it better than the College of Business. And what has happened? The College of Business, like, we want our rooms to be like those rooms. I'm like, darn right you do. So
Jealous. They're jelly.
no, they want to maintain that, and there's something to be said for it. So better student experience, better teaching experience all around.
They're real jelly.
All right. Any other thoughts on this, or you want to just push this button and leave?
That's good.
Push it.
Let's get out of here.
So just saying no. Okay. Don't support him.
So yeah, we'll be back next week with what are we talking about next week? We're talking about spring cleaning next week, and 2 weeks after that we'll have, or 2 weeks from now, a week after that we'll have AV Trust on. Talk about security. Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV SuperFriends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.